Hello, hello. I am so excited to bring you this episode. This episode was originally recorded inside my high performance group coaching program, The Queen's Way, and it was so good. I could not not share it. This episode is brought to you by The Queen's Way. If you are looking to get to your next level of performance and connect with like-minded boss babe queens and achieve the massive growth that you desire, then The Queen's Way is for you. The Queen's Way follows a proven step-by-step system to get you to the next level. We get you into an intensive, fast-paced, 4-month high-performance curriculum. Each month, I bring in a specific guest expert to support the queens that I have in that community in any area that they're struggling with. Each week, you're going to go through a specific process so you can achieve a new level of mastery and personal growth in your business, life, and your relationships. Now, my private clients pay me thousands of dollars a month to work with me through this specific process where I combine a month of NLP, timeline therapy, and hypnosis to then set you up into that high performance curriculum that is super rock star. So you get it for a fraction of the price. This is my signature crowned coaching methodology. And you also get $1,000 worth of my self-study courses to support you as you build your fempire when you sign up as a member of The Queen's Way. So the wait list is open, so if you want to get on the wait list for enrollment, go to crownyourself.com/The Queen's Way and sign up for email updates. Welcome to the Princess and the Bee podcast, the place to be to build your empire as queen of your body, business, and life. I'm your host, Kimberly Spencer, founder of crownyourself.com, and I'm an award-winning coach, Amazon best-selling author, and multi-passionate entrepreneur. Each week, I give you the systems, strategies, and success stories to help you master your mindset, communicate with ease, and triple your productivity so you make the income and the impact you deserve. Imagine this podcast as your weekly spark of inspiration as you take it to the next level with all the bees of your life. Body, business, bank account, boys, and babies. Let's make it rain.
Hello, my amazing queens, and welcome back. And I am here with the amazing and totally talented Sarah Lorenz. She is a social media strategist for coaches. And after studying marketing and working as a marketing manager and becoming a freelancer, she now runs her own business, including a Facebook ads agency for international clients. Sarah has helped dozens of coaches find their unique voice, implement a strategy, and get high-end clients through social media. She loves testing new techniques and is always up to some crazy ideas because besides her one-on-one coaching, she also has her own membership program where she teaches business owners everything they need to know to stay at the leading edge of social media. So if you've ever wanted to live your dream life, the chances are you're probably facing one of these two problems. You either want to get started, but you're not sure how to market yourself, or you've been in business a while and you want to level up and attract those high-end clients. So for most businesswomen, this whole social media thing is a mystery, and that is what Sarah is going to help us navigate today. So Sarah, welcome. Woo! I am so excited to have you as a fellow queen. So tell us, what got you into social media?
Well, as you already said, I studied marketing, so it's always been a passion of mine. This was like some years ago, and things changed so much since then. I wrote my bachelor thesis about mobile marketing in 2012, I think, and things changed so much since then. It's so funny to read this right now. So I always had this passion about it, and I had a German blog which grew like really a lot and became really, really big, where I just had to learn all the techniques to be able to market my services and everything. So, and then I worked in marketing myself. I was a marketing manager, like had a normal job, like normal 9 to 5 job, like really, and I like my office was not my style, to be honest. I'm a terrible employee. I was terrible, honestly. But I like the marketing part of it. So I became a freelancer afterwards. And I already had some clients while I was still in this office job, and then I just like made this like my whole my only job, and then from there transitioned to an actual business, which I'm having right now, and I've been having for a longer time right now, about social media marketing, because I just love social media. I think it has so many amazing things you can do, so much potential, and it's growing so fast. So I am crazy about it.
I love it. I love what you said about not being a good employee. I'm the same way. Like,
I know. I was
terrible employee.
I feel really bad about this, like, because I always like did some secret work. Like when my boss was not watching me, I always did like some secret work on my own business, and not for the business I was supposed to do the work for. So I like not very nice. But actually, the funny thing is that my boss actually quit right after me. So, and he also became self-employed. So I guess it wasn't too bad.
Maybe he was doing the same exact thing. So I'm curious, why is social media important, and what should we be, as entrepreneurs, as businesswomen, be paying attention to?
Well, it's a really, really big topic, as you probably all know. Everyone who's watching this knows that we have so many different even platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, like so many different options. But I think in total, social media is just a super amazing way to present oneself, to just find people who are potential clients for your business. And then I think it's like the nicest way to speak to people, because you can be so authentic in social media, and you have to be authentic in social media to actually turn these potential clients into real clients. But in general, I honestly think there's hardly any way around. I think there's hardly any way how you could not use it, because your clients are using it, like very, very likely. I think there's hardly any niche or any area of business where your potential clients are not using social media. I think really, honestly, almost everyone is using some platform privately. So people are there anyways, and it's just it can be such an easy way to, as I said, to get potential clients, to get to know you, and then to turn them into paying clients for your business. So I think there's hardly any way around it, and it has so many amazing options and features you can use depending on different things, and depending on your personality and your business and what you already have. But you can use these platforms with a strategy so easily, with like so less effort. Of course, it's like it takes some time, of course, and some work, but in comparison to what we had 10 years ago, it's like, wow, it's crazy. And I love Facebook ads, like, and even like when you compare the prices of Facebook ads or all the organic unpaid things you can do with what we had, let's say 10 years ago, where you had to pay for flyers and brochures and or maybe even like TV ads if you're a big company. I think social media is so great for people who are starting right now, who are having a business right now, because it has so many things you can do, so much potential, and it's so cheap to use.
So you touched on on a great point, that everybody is using a social media platform. And inside the Queen's Way in my group coaching program, we've been talking a lot, because I have both female entrepreneurs and I have just businesswomen who are employees, about the fact that we're now walking brands. Like we are now living, breathing, walking brands. Totally. And so as both a female entrepreneur and as a businesswoman, how can you claim your presence online, claim your personal brand in essence? What's the best strategy for that?
I think one of the most important things in general, and especially for social media, is to find out what you actually enjoy. Because I see so many people doing things because they feel they have to, and that never works. So of course there are like different things which I usually say work better than others. So for example, of course, live streams are a huge thing on different platforms, not just Facebook, but also on YouTube and other platforms. So in general, live streams of course are a big thing, but it all comes down to finding out what you actually enjoy. Because if you honestly really hate it and you have tried it, because that's something you have to do, you have to try it, but then if you honestly hate it, you don't have to use it. So that's okay. So there is no like one size fits all in social media, like for the platforms and for the different techniques. So I think it's super important to find out what you actually enjoy. Is it writing? Some people are really good writers. I know I'm not, because like in English for me it's always a bit weird. So I'm really into videos, but other people, they write so good. And then of course you can use different strategies. So if you're a really good writer, you could think about like really tapping into like all these blog posts and go really crazy as a blogger, of course combined with the business you're having. And then you could use Pinterest, for example, to promote the blog post. But if you're really into talking, you can do a podcast, of course, or like different audio things. And if you like videos like I do, then that's perfect, because then you can do what I do and go crazy on, let's say, Facebook or YouTube. So it really depends on, first of all, what you enjoy. I think that's a really important, the most important thing. Before you even think about where is my audience, like what actually makes sense for my business, I think first of all you have to think about what actually is for you, is fun for you, because you have to do it like every single day if you want to do it right. And then you want to enjoy it, right? You don't want to be like this weird like employee in your own business doing things you don't want to do.
Exactly. Well, and that's the whole reason why we created our own businesses in the first place, right?
Exactly.
So how do you walk your clients through creating a consistent brand online?
Mm-hmm. So what I do, so first of all, we look into, okay, what is it my client actually enjoys doing? And then the next thing I do is we look together at the things my client already has. So because of course, if you're just starting out, you probably don't have that many things, but it depends. Some people are really, as I said, some people already have lots of blog posts, for example, or others have a nice homepage. Others might not have a homepage yet, or don't want to have a homepage ever. Some already did some videos. So the second step is like, okay, find out what material is already there, what photos are already there, which you can use for graphics and everything. This is the second step, to just like write all of these things down, the material. And this also goes for all the products, the personal, like you have. So you can write down like all the products you have and all the products you want to promote, because usually especially for coaches, but for everyone in business, you have different products, right? You usually have like one-on-ones as a coach. You might have a group program. You might even have some Facebook ads services. Like you always have different things you want to promote. So that's like the next thing I do. And then what I do then is, and this is like all before we actually go into social media, but I come to that, is to work on, okay, so when does it make sense to promote what? Because you usually don't want to promote different things at the same time, but you want to focus on one single thing, right? And this is also true for social media. Of course, in social media, you will want to have some automated processes. Of course, they run all the time and they will lead to different end offers. But for the organic promotion, so let's say if you have a Facebook group and a Facebook page, and you do some like posts on there, you do some live streams about different topics. I recommend to just have like one thing that you promote at the time. Of course, this can change, but you want to like focus on one thing at this time. So that's like the next thing I do. And then we go into the different social media platforms and work on, okay, like where does it actually make sense to promote what in like all these different platforms. And what I generally recommend is to not try to be all over the place. Because again, like it does take some time, of course, and some work, and you don't have to be everywhere. I think that's like the one like one of the main problems people are having with social media is that they get overwhelmed so easily because they feel that they have to be everywhere. They feel they have to do Pinterest because everyone is doing it and it seems to be so great, and they have to do live streams, and YouTube always also has like these new features, and so they feel they have to be like everywhere, which is not true. So you can totally just use one platform. In general, I recommend to use two, but even with like one or two platforms, you can totally get enough clients for all your offers. So you don't have to be everywhere. That's important to know.
I love the fact that you said what you have to do, like this assumption that you have to be on every single platform. And when you're starting out a business, when you're starting out anything, when you're starting out a promotion, check yourself. I tell this to my private clients all the time, like check yourself when you're feeling that have to, because that have to is putting you at effect. It's putting you at the mercy of all of the social media platforms, instead of being really conscious and choosing the specific ones that are really the best benefit for you and that you actually enjoy. Like for me, I love images and I love video. So like Facebook live streams, Instagram images, and like YouTube, my jam. And I love writing, so it allows for that writing tool, but it's figuring out that specific of what you really like. And the other thing that you touched on that I think is very important for our multi-passionate entrepreneurs who have like multiple offers and sometimes even multiple businesses, like one's a direct marketing and one is in an affiliate marketing and one is in this other thing. How do you hone it into one consistent brand and create that consistent brand that is you, while also marketing these two very different products?
Yeah. So that's I think that's super important to understand that, of course, it always comes down to you as a person, right? But also you don't want to make things too complicated for your audience, right? So I think it depends a little bit on what, like, let's say you have like two different business types. It depends on how much these audiences interlap, right? So it's so if you have two totally different audiences, then it can be easy, because then you can really just split it to different accounts, or you can use one platform for the one and another for the other, right? But of course, if the audience is like really similar, then it gets more tricky. But again, I say what I think it's important that you really always focus on one thing at the time, because otherwise you totally confuse people. But again, as I already touched on earlier, you can have these automated processes in place, which of course are like super cool with Facebook ads. And then of course you can have like totally different, what I call funnels, where you lead people to different end offers. So if you have like one affiliate marketing business and one like direct marketing business, you can have totally different funnels, totally different freebies and offers in between, and emails and different posts you combine with that to lead people to this like end offer. So I think like for this is super easy, but for the organic part, you really want to make sure that it's like you have a clear system and you stick to it, right? So let's say if you agree that let's say Instagram is for direct and Facebook is for your affiliate marketing section, for example. It doesn't have to be like this. Then it's important that you stick to this and you don't mix it. And even if you have like this super amazing offer and you think, I want everyone to tell about, but still you should stick to the system you have, because nothing is worse than confused potential clients.
A confused mind
never buy. Yeah.
Exactly. I was just going to say, a confused mind never buys. You beat me to it.
Yeah, because it's so true. It's so true. And this, of course, narrows down to like also like the different things of your product, of your offers. So for example, for the price, you don't want to have like 5 different options for, let's say, a coaching package. That's totally confusing, right? You want to have 1 or maximum 2 different options, and that's it. Because the more people have to decide, then they just don't decide at all, because it's too hard for them. And this, of course, is also true for social media. So what I always do is I have my own like timeline, and I do this for always like 3 or 4 months in advance. So I always plan like 3 to 4 months in advance, where I really write down, okay, when do I promote what? And of course, I also have some weeks in between where I don't promote anything. Of course, you don't want to annoy people, right? So of course you also want to deliver free content and just give value. Of course you want to do this. So what I do is I write down what I want to focus on, like during which time frame. And then I usually have what I call, just for myself, like promo weeks, where I promote this like more heavily. So in between, I deliver value. I do live streams where I just really just share tips and tricks about social media. But then I have this promo weeks where I do the same thing, but then I combine this with the offer. So what I do then, for example, is when I do live streams in my Facebook group, I always start and end the live stream with the offer I have. Right? So I go right in and I say, hey, today I want to talk about this and that topic. Before I dive in, I want to remind you that until this and that date, I am offering this and that. So you can have like limited spots, or you can have a discount, whatever it is. And then I do the live stream. I deliver all the value I have, like the same thing I do also in the other weeks. And then at the end, I promote the offer again. Right, so they get the same things, but then it's combined. And of course, it should, from the topic, of course, it should fit to what you actually want to sell. So if I want to sell Facebook ads, then of course I do live streams around I don't teach people how to do Facebook ads, because first of all, I don't think it's possible in a live stream.
There's a lot involved with it.
It's crazy. And also I want to sell my services, right? So I want to teach them. So what I do is I do live streams around that topic. So for example, if I promote my Facebook ads, I do live streams about how to choose a good freebie, because you usually combine freebie with Facebook ads. Or I talk about how to have a really good landing page, because it's also essential. Or I touch on like some really specific ads problems or issues. So how to choose the right conversion type or whatever, right? So, but you always want to make sure that the topic fits to the end offer you want to promote. And then just like one at a time, and have like promo weeks that works quite well for me.
Awesome. So what are some social media trends that we should be aware of? Like, where are Facebook ads heading? Where is Instagram? Like, there's so many, it seems like every day there's a new social platform. We've got the big leagues of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Pinterest and LinkedIn, but what else? And should we be keeping an eye on Snapchat, even though like a Kardashian took down their stock in a day?
Yeah, that's true.
what other ones should we be on the lookout for, or should we be sticking with the big leagues?
So there are different things about this. So in general, I would recommend to stick with the ones we already have, and to not always search for like the next Facebook, because I feel that people are always like, oh, maybe this is like the next big thing. I have to try it, and there's nothing wrong with it as long as you still have enough time to like focus on the others. Right? Then you can of course try different things. But I think we already have so many and so big and so amazing platforms that I would focus on the ones we already have. And then, of course, it comes down to what you enjoy and what you want to promote. I personally, I'm a big fan of Facebook. I just love Facebook. I think they have so many amazing options even within Facebook. But of course, at the same time, I don't recommend to just focus on one single platform, but to diversify a little bit, because you never know, right? I mean, they have this like data scandal right now, which of course I don't think it influences marketing that much. People are not really leaving Facebook, but you never know. You never know. You don't want to be tied to like just one single platform, which is why I always also recommend to collect email addresses as well, because then you have them, right? Yeah. Why with the page or group, it can always get closed. You never know, right? I love Facebook. I'm a huge fan of live streams, of course, because you're asking for like trends. Of course, live streams, they are huge and they are really important on different platforms. On Facebook, also on Instagram, not that big there, but it's coming. YouTube is really pushing live streams right now. They just worked on the live streams feature a couple of weeks ago and made it so much easier to go live there. So it's like, in general, it's becoming a huge thing. You mentioned Snapchat. I'm not a big fan myself, to be honest, especially now that Instagram stories are that big. I think, and that's so similar to Snapchat. And I mean, I live in Germany, in Europe, so we don't really use it here. So my like one big part of my potential clients are not using it. So for me, it doesn't really make sense. So what I'm personally using is Facebook a lot, and Instagram and Pinterest. So these are the three things I'm using for my business, but it always depends on what you already have and what you enjoy. And I have some clients and they are really into podcasts, and I think to just try it out, there's this app called Anchor, which makes it super easy to do with your phone. So like even I could do it. Yeah. So I'm not really into I love listening to podcasts, but I'm not really into like just talking. I love to I don't know, use my hands and everything.
Sure.
I know. I have to express myself.
Yes, it's like the magic. Yeah, I love your Facebook stories. I follow you.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I love them. I think when it comes down to creating those stories, because that's like the big thing, is that people like Brendan Bouchard and Marie Forleo, they're all doing like life vlogging in essence, because that is what people actually want to see. And so how can we use Facebook stories or Instagram stories to show that path? And how is that beneficial for our businesses and for our growth?
Yeah, I love Facebook and Instagram stories so much. Because they are so easy to do. It doesn't take any some, but not much effort. So they're so easy to produce. And I think because I'm seeing different things there myself. I'm seeing people who just take people like through their day, like with just like personal photos and videos and everything. And I'm seeing some people, like some coaches are starting this, where they're having lots of like pre-designed or like pre-produced designs, graphics and videos, which of course also looks super cool. It depends a little bit on what your whole branding is. If you're really into like pretty images, then it might make sense to produce some graphics, for example, in Canva. The Canva also has an app, so you can use the Canva app to create story elements for your stories. But I think you don't have to overcomplicate it, to be honest. You can just take people through your day. I think, and then there are a couple of what I think are important like steps to use it in a way that actually people turn into paying clients, because that's what you want to do. You just like, you don't want to just like show how amazing your day is, so you want to sell something, right? So of course it's the mixture. You don't want to promote something like every day or in every story. Of course not. You don't want to be annoying, but you can totally promote things in your stories, right? In fact, you have to. If you don't like make the offer, no one will buy from you. And I think what's a super amazing way to do this is to show behind the scenes of your work. So if you're working on a new offer, why not show people? Show them how your landing page looks like right now while you're working on it, or just talk about it, like do like a selfie video and talk about how you're thinking about, okay, so what price will I actually ask for, how it look like. You can totally be super transparent about these things, because everyone is thinking about this, right? They know that you don't usually wake up and have the price in your head. Sometimes you do, but usually you have to think about it. So it's totally okay to do like really to really detailed behind the scenes. And then what also works really well for me and my clients is like case studies. Of course what I do, I show that I'm having like client calls.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I'm busy and I can show that I'm busy, which is always a good sign.
Yes.
Then what you can do is you can show the results your clients are getting. So if they are like, especially in my case, because they're also active on social media, I can just like do screenshots of like their posts where they're doing really cool things. But I think this usually works with like different areas as well, where you can just share the results your clients are getting, the amazing things they're doing. And of course, you're probably really proud of them because they accomplished that. So you can just show this and explain, hey, we just worked on this and now she's doing this. This is crazy. I'm so proud of her. And I have this all the time. So you can find these cases like so easily. Mm-hmm. And this is like super cool because of course, people always really relate to like client stories, testimonials. That's always super, super amazing.
Yeah, and super important to have in any business. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, having testimonials or referrals, that's basically a reference letter of just people saying that you do good work. And so you need that in any business, whether you own it or you don't.
Super important. Yeah. And what I always do is I always ask for video testimonials of my clients. And I do this depending on like what package they're on. I usually also do this while I'm still working with them because I have like some longer packages and I don't want to wait until the end. I mean, they already like did some cool things in between. So I always ask them, usually like even while I'm still working with them, to just record me a video between like 1 and 3 minutes, no longer than 3 minutes, what I'm asked for. And then you can, of course, use this everywhere on social media as well. Like on the stories, but of course also on different elements. So in general, case studies, and especially video case studies, or for the stories, you can totally just do screenshots of something, right? And use this. So this is like super amazing to use. And of course you can also do like hard promotion where you just, what I do is I usually just like talk about my offers and explain them. And then I combine this also with screenshots where I just like film my screen and like scroll through my page and say like, hey, look at this, you get this and that for that price. Right. So like these three things are super important to do, of course, like, and of course you can do all fun things in between, right? You don't have to promote all the time. So you can go crazy. You can do fun things in between. And of course, promotions are also fun. So it's like all fun.
I love the fact that you touched on that promotions are fun, like making sales fun. An interesting tidbit that I learned from one of my mentors is that sales, the word like to sell, comes from Norwegian. And as a former Miss Norway, long story. The Norwegian word translation of selge, which is the Norwegian, means to serve. And so essentially when you're making an offer, you know that you are offering something that's of value and that can serve somebody in some capacity. And so transferring it from that like salesy, like 1980s image to a more positive one that's from service. And I think that's where a lot of women get tripped up from time to time, is about actually asking for the sale and asking for what they want. So how do you guide your clients through that process to make them feel more comfortable with the sale and asking for the offer?
Yeah, first of all, I really agree that this is like a huge thing, especially for us women. For some reason, like it seems to be easier for men, even though I think like some of them have like the same issues. So yeah, I totally agree that like your offer, I'm pretty sure that like your offer is amazing. So everyone who's watching this, I'm pretty sure that you have an amazing offer, right? And you want people to get this, right? So there's no, like there is no logical reason to feel bad about promoting it, because honestly everyone who gets the chance to work with you is like super lucky, right? Super lucky to pay the money and to get to work with you. So but of course I know the issues you can have. So I think this comes down to like probably three different things. So first of all, you have to be comfortable with the actual offer, right? Of course. So do you actually feel super happy about the things you're offering? Or again, like when you thought about this, did you more think about what you should do, right? Because of course it's again to be about like what you actually enjoy. And even if everyone else is offering like this like really big support and you just hate it, well then you should offer it, right? But you can find other things you actually enjoy. So you have to be comfortable with the product, the service, and also the price, of course, right? And of course, money mindset is a big thing. So, but first, the product itself. Then the second thing in general is like money mindset or mindset work, which, comes down to actually know that what you offer is good and that there are people out there who will pay for it, and they are lucky that they can pay for it, so you can work with them. So but of course like this takes some practice, the whole money mindset thing. That's totally worth it. So like I have I also work with a mindset coach, and I find that of course journaling, engaging your body. So what I do is I journal on this, and write down like some like good thoughts I want to have, and then I engage my body a lot, and I jump up and down. And I'm like a bit active, crazy person, and then like this really sinks in. And then when it comes to social media, which of course like my main field of expertise, is one thing you have to know is, of course, you don't promote all the time, right? And I'm sure that all of you are delivering so much free value, like, because every post usually is free value, because you post your thoughts and like even like what it took you to come to this point to have this thought, right? Can be like years of process behind this, right? So every post is a really, really amazing free offer you're providing, and every live stream you do and every blog post you write. And I'm sure that all of you are like doing this like to some extent, but and then it's totally okay to have, for example, a promo week, and then to really promote something a lot during this promo week, right? And the funny thing is, and there's also this saying, but the funny thing is that like when you do this and you promote this like the whole week, and let's say maybe even 3-4 times the day on different channels, and you're like, oh my God, people must be so annoyed. I guarantee you that you will get a comment somewhere where like, I've never heard of that before. You're like, really? I'm doing this like 2 weeks in a row, like 5 times a day. How? Right? So I guarantee you that if you think people are annoyed by it, they just start noticing it. Like, really?
Yes, I totally agree. I mean, you look at like the list size of like list openings is like commonly a good list opening is 15 to 30%. And that means that 70 to 80% of your people haven't read what you wrote. So if you repurpose that same content, you're still providing that value. I mean, a lot of us, I think, get trapped in this like myopic vision of our world because we're the ones who are promoting it. We're the ones who are in it. And so we're the ones who are doing the 5-10 posts a day, the live streams. And we don't realize that sometimes people haven't seen it.
Yeah, really often. And even if and usually the people who see a lot from you, that's because they interacted with you a lot before, which means that they like you, like, or they really hate you. But this rarely happens. So they probably really, really like you, and usually that maybe they are already clients of you, or they're really on the edge of hiring you. So even for them, it's not bad if they see this 5 times a day, right? So
yeah, that means they like you.
Yeah, because this just happens if they keep interacting with it, right? If they keep clicking like, or sending you a heart, or like even writing a comment, right? Then they keep seeing a lot of things from you. But if they stop interacting because they're annoyed, then this also will lead to that they see less of your posts, which of course makes total sense, right? So you don't have to be afraid to do too much promotion, especially if you have like this 1 or 2 promo weeks. You can really go crazy like during these weeks. That's totally fine, and even in between, of course. So
awesome. So you talking about promo weeks, let's dive into the mysterious world of Facebook ads. So why should every entrepreneur be using them right now?
I like, if you're not using Facebook ads right now, like, why not? What's going on? Like, honestly, Facebook, first of all, Facebook ads are like really an amazing tool for so many different things, to get people in your list, to promote something, for a launch, to fill up your group program. Like, you can do so many amazing things. Like, that's like one of the reasons. And the second reason is that like, let's be honest, the prices like will go up for Facebook ads. That's how it is. I mean, even right now, they are more expensive than they were a year ago, unfortunately. So, and this is because the placement is limited, right? Facebook said that they don't want to open more ad space within the newsfeed. Right, so you just see like a fixed amount of ads in your newsfeed, and that's it, right? But even like every day, more people want to use Facebook ads, meaning that the price for people to actually see your ads in the newsfeed or somewhere else, like is getting higher, because some people are wanting to use it. So if you want to use it, like, start right now and not tomorrow, because it will be more expensive tomorrow. But in general, it's a really amazing tool, for so many different things. Usually people use it at the first place for like list building, meaning that you have a freebie, a free offer, can be a PDF or a video series, or whatever it is you want to give for free in exchange for an email address, of course. You can run Facebook ads to lead people to your landing page and make they sign in, right? And then you have them in your list. But that's just like the first step of it. And it just gets really exciting when it comes to launching something, because then you can do amazing things with Facebook ads to fill all your spots for, let's say, a group program or a one-on-one coaching or whatever it is you want to promote. So it's just
I love that. I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk who said, like, the time to use Facebook ads is right now, because it's only going to be about a year or so when the big companies jump on in and pump millions and millions of dollars into their ads, and thus the space for us is going to shift. And so why it's so important now as an entrepreneur to have your Facebook ads up, to be having them run and having them be seen consistently. So when an entrepreneur is looking to navigate the world of Facebook ads, what's the first step that you lead your clients through?
This really depends on what the goal is. So this depends on, because some people come to me and really their first goal is to just start with it and just get people in, like, on the email list, which is totally fine. Of course, it's a perfect goal, right? Then the whole strategy is like a bit like, it's more simple from what I need. So what I usually expect from my clients when they come to me is to have, if they want to do this, like to get people on the email list, is to have some freebie and a good looking landing page. Because trust me, the things I have seen, it's crazy.
Oh, I've seen some ugly landing pages.
I know.
Like, I'm like, that is straight out of like AOL days.
I know. And the thing is, you can run amazing ads, which of course I do like all the time. But if the landing page is not good to use and looks like really shitty, then no one is going to sign up. And then the ads can be perfect, but that just makes sense, right? So, but in general, of course, like if you want people to come to like a website, a landing page, which you usually want also when you're promoting something, when you're promoting a launch offer, make sure that your website looks good on mobile devices. That is super, super important, because usually around 80% of all people that click on the Facebook ad do this from a mobile phone. Right? Because we have the phone in our hands like the whole day. We are crazy, like all of us, right? Admit it. So like we just use the phone like in between. And this is when people click on the ad. People are not clicking on ads when they are doing something like on purpose in Facebook. Like if they have the plan to like post something themselves or like do something like for the business, then they're not clicking on an ad. No, usually not. But this happens when people are like just sitting on the couch and just like pick the phone up, didn't even notice it, scrolling around and then click on the ad, right? So make sure that your website is like responsive, meaning mobile friendly, looks amazing on the mobile phone. This is super important. Right. And then, of course, it depends on the exact kind of freebie of offer you have and like what your end goal is. So I usually like one thing which is super important for Facebook ads in general, no matter what you promote, is split testing, meaning you always have to test different things, and this not like, of course, like this means that you have to test different photos and videos. I like always encourage my clients to like send me videos under 1 minute, super short, for the Facebook ads. So you test this and the headlines and the text, but you also have to test different target audiences, right? So this is super important, and you can do like really, really fancy, crazy things when it comes to creating these target audiences in Facebook ads, because people are always thinking that it's just like this, where like this like window where you like click on like all the different interests and you like build your own audience, and you think about, oh, but I want women aged 20 to 40 with like these interests, and this like it's fine, but this is like, and this is in the beginning, it's okay, but you want to work with different kinds of audiences. And what I just mentioned was what I call profile-based audiences, but there are also different like custom audiences. So for example, you can retarget, so you can speak again to people that visited your website in the past, or that interacted with your videos or with a specific video on your Facebook page. Or you can speak again to people who are already in your email list, which of course makes total sense when it comes to launches, right? Then you can build these so-called look-alike audiences, which is a group of people that are really, really similar to another group of people. So if you have an email list, you can upload your email list to Facebook, saying like, hey, this is my source audience, and then you can say like, okay, so now I want to talk to people that are really similar to the people that are already in my email list. And this is crazy, because Facebook, and we all know this right now because of this data scandal, they know so much about us. They have so much data from every single user. So like all these like lookalikes and custom audiences are always like better or cheaper than these profile-based audience. Of course, you have to start somewhere, right? If you don't have anything yet, it's totally fine to start with profile-based ones. But as soon as you can, you want to switch to lookalikes, and you want to do retargeting, especially for a launch. Lots of retargeting. Yeah, and you can get really specific with this. So you can even like if you do this right with the tracking, you can even retarget people that, for example, clicked on your landing page and then maybe even put the offer, the product into their cart. Maybe they even started typing something in the cart, but then they didn't finish it, right? For whatever reason, maybe the kid woke up or whatever, so which happens. So then you can create ads that speak to these specific people, saying like, hey, I noticed that you haven't finished your purchase yet. Do you want to do this right now? And then have a different link in it. So you can do really, really specific things with Facebook ads, which is it's so cool, isn't it?
Yes, you can get super, super detailed and you get all into the juiciness. I mean, now when it comes down to a photo or a video, which one in your experience? Because I know there's a lot of people who are a little video shy. And so is video really the better place to go, or is using a photo, does that tend to have the same engagement rate?
It really depends. So I always used to say that video is better, but I've had some clients where we did split testing and actually the photo performed better. And then we went for the photo and we turned the other ads off, the video ads off. So you really have to test it. Like again and again. For every different offer you have to test it again. Of course, it also depends on how you perform on camera. Because if you're really camera shy, then it can happen that, of course, for this reason, the video doesn't convert that well because people notice that you're not really comfortable. So I have one client and she is really camera shy, and we went for photo ads, and it works so good because we have like really cool photos that really in general, when it comes to photos, make sure that people see your face, right? Especially if you are your own brand, right? Which I think most of you are. And like most of my clients are when they are coaches, right? Because then you are your brand, which that of course people like really have to like recognize you and see you on the phone. That's important, right? But then if you have a really cool photo, that's totally fine. You can totally also test different photos. If you really don't like video, it can also work with photos. It can, but usually videos convert a little better. Yeah.
Knowing that I think becoming a little bit more video, whether it's the video and audio, people like to know a little bit more about you, especially because we're such like an interactive society because of social media. They like to hear your voice. They like to see your face. And I love that you touched on that. If you're doing an ad for photos that involves a photo, use a photo that involves your face.
Yeah. It's so important.
Even if you're selling a product, use a photo that involves your face with the product. But because people buy and people buy a story. They buy from a person. It's not necessarily, they buy the story of the product or what it makes them feel and the value that gives.
Totally.
So what is your number one secret trick for Facebook ads?
Ooh, the number one secret trick.
Number one.
I have a couple. I don't think that I have like the one secret trick because honestly, as I like already said so many times, but you always have to split test different things, right? And even if I would tell you like what works best for me, and I don't have like a secret there, but this also wouldn't mean that this also works for you, because it really depends on like yourself and your target audiences and your product. So like again, like same for Facebook ads, there is no one size fit all, but you have to like develop a strategy and then split test. I think in general, retargeting, which I of course already mentioned, so that's not a secret anymore, but retargeting is just really important. That's one thing. And like maybe the second like secret thing. What works really well for me and also for the clients I've done this for right now is Instagram story ads. Because we talked about the different placements and that people are really like going for ads in general right now, and it's getting crowded. But Instagram story ads are still not used that much, especially by entrepreneurs. So right now, more like big companies like Coca-Cola, for example, are starting to use this, but it's not used by like personal brands that much yet, and that works really well for me. So I get so I use this for like typical list building, and for me this placement works really well, where I just do like a 15-second video. That's the ad, a 15-second video with text on it, where I ask people to swipe up and then they come to the landing page and they can sign up for the freebie. So that's maybe like a secret thing. And maybe if I can mention a third thing, which works, like I have like so many secrets. I tell you, it's not really a secret, but like the other thing I am doing right now for myself, for my own marketing in Facebook ads, is I combine a messenger bot with an email opt-in. So because you can do really fancy things with messenger bot, where people get like emails in Facebook Messenger, of course, like super short messages. Those are not like big emails, but they can sign up for like a bot, and then they get messages through Facebook Messenger. Of course, like totally different strategy behind this, but I just combined this with an email opt-in, where they get some like free value on like 3 or 4 days, I think. And then I ask them, hey, if you like this, do you want to give me your email address so I can send you even more cool stuff? And most people do this. So then I have them in the messenger and on email, and then I can do like some really fancy retargeting stuff. So.
Ooh, tricky. So I love the fact that you talked about testing, because I think this is something that a lot of business owners shy away from. Or at least when they're first starting out. But the ability to test is really where you see what works, because no one knows what works for you until you test and you see and you look at your metrics and you track your data and you operate it like a business owner and not like a hobby.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, this has been absolutely a pleasure. So how can we get in touch with you? How can we work with you further? Should any of our entrepreneurs watching this want to juice up their social media game, and especially their Facebook ads within the next year? So tell us more.
Yeah, I would love to work with you. So you can find me at getsomemagic.com. The sum standing for social media. Most people don't know this. So getsomemagic.com. Right now, I am offering a one-on-one intensive, which is 3 hours, because right now I just love all this like structuring and developing a strategy. So what I do is I get crazy. So if you book this, like prepare that I get crazy and I totally stalk you. But in the end, we sit down for 3 hours. We go through your whole marketing, your whole social media marketing, every channel you have, so that in the end, you know exactly like what to do, where and when. It's super cool. It's super intense, 3 hours, but the time just goes by so fast. So it's super cool. So you can find this there on my homepage.
Cool.
Super amazing. And I, of course, offer Facebook ads services. So if you want me and my team to run your Facebook ads, which you should, because it's awesome. It's really cool for list building, and of course, really cool for launches. Then we have that as well. I have 2 different packages: one list building, one launch package, where I and my team, we run your Facebook ads. You get strategy calls with me. And then we can do really amazing things there. So you can find this there as well. It's super cool.
Awesome. Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, Sarah. I know our audience has got some massive value. I mean, if 1 hour with you is like this, I can only imagine 3 hours of intensive and
it's really cool. It is really cool.
attention on your social media. So go to getsomemagic.com. Ladies, remember to own your throne, mind your business, and make it rain.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If what you heard resonated with you, be sure to subscribe and share your breakthroughs and ahas with me by leaving a review on iTunes so I can keep the magic flowing your way. And if you aren't already following us on social media, come experience the extra inspiration and queenly convos on Instagram at Crown Yourself Now, or visit our website at crownyourself.com. I am so excited to connect with you in the next episode. And in the meantime, go out there and create a body, business, and life that rules.